All right, the next movie on our list, Paul W. Stank Anderson's Event Horizon.
I kind of like stinky movies.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
Oh, careful. Oh, you're going to trigger Kadish.
I gotta point out that, so like,
this is before he put his initials in it, right?
Yeah. So so basically, there are two aspects to Stanky Anderson's career. There's the pre-Resident Evil, and then there's the post-Resident Evil. And pre-Resident Evil, he didn't write his own scripts. He didn't have Mila Jovovich in the movies, and he had people around him to tell him that his ideas sucked. So I just want to make that clear. Also, he did not have the WS in his name. So anytime you see a movie attributed to Paul Anderson,
it's good.
It's going to be okay.
I love that you can't say that it's good. It's okay.
That's because it's not good.
Oh, it's a good movie.
It's mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Take it away, Jude.
All right. 1997, Event Horizon, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour 36 minutes. This had a budget of $60 million. What do you think this brought into the box office? Let's start with V.
What was the budget?
60.
$57 million.
All right, Alex?
100 million.
$42 million.
I didn't think this movie did much.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. I do remember.
Also
it.
lost money.
Yeah, I do remember because I watched a little 20-minute documentary on this film this week.
did?
Yeah, because I really like this film, and I was like,
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think it's fun. I think it's right up there with like the crazy, creepy, portal to hell.
It's because of Sam Neill.
99% because of Sam Neill.
You're a little horned up over
Your boyfriend's in
I'm a Sam Neill shill.
Yeah. If it was anyone else in this, would you like it as much?
Probably because I you know me.
Jeremy Irons was originally supposed to be.
Oh, that would have been dope.
Cool as fuck.
That would have made this movie better.
Sam Neill. Yeah, well, we'll get into it. But anyway, I don't know. I don't like horror all that much. It's not like my genre that I go to. But this movie, I just have a ton of fun with it. Okay. It's so creepy and weird. I like it. Yeah. Take it away, Jude. What's it all about?
Okay. A spooky spaceship mysteriously reappears after having disappeared 7 years ago. The crew of the Lewis and Clark are sent to go fetch the wayward Event Horizon. And the creepy-ass ship isn't even the creepiest thing about the ship. The black hole gateway core in the ship is open and sucking people into it and making the crew hallucinate. And Laurence Fishburne's like, we're getting the fuck out of here. And then I'm nuking this creepy-ass ship. But Sam Neill's like, you guys are being such babies. Come hang out with the black hole gateway core thingy. It's totally safe. Like, really, really safe. Yeah. Get closer to it. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Closer. Closer. And then he gets real horny for the ship and rips his face off.
This movie should have been Hellraiser in Space.
It kind of is Hellraiser in Space, dude.
But it should have been a Hellraiser movie. And they should have just made Sam Neill Pinhead.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I would have done.
It's
something
so
like that.
Weird.
Well, so interesting you should mention that. So basically, the concept behind this by the screenwriter Philip Eisner was The Shining in Space. It was about a haunted, spaceship.
Right.
And when Stanky Anderson came on board, he's so creatively bankrupt that he's like, I'm just going to rip off Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And so Hellraiser was like a huge influence on this film. And they even got Clive Barker to come in and do some consultation.
Well, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell in the special effects at the end of it when he's like all carved up. I'm like, where did that even come from?
I mean, it's basically a Hellraiser movie.
I mean,
it really
I
is.
think I'm really laughing internally right now because we've said, let's do Hellraiser week. And Alex is like, no. You guys go watch those movies.
But you love this.
But I do love this.
But you picked a Hellraiser movie.
I didn't know it was a
Basically,
Hellraiser. I thought it was The Shining and Aliens in Space.
This is way grosser and gorier than any Hellraiser movie. I don't know what your deal is. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I don't know, dude.
It's been a long time.
There is actually a Hellraiser movie that takes place in space, right?
Yeah, we'll have to watch it someday.
Oh my God. We should do the horror movie sequels that went to space.
Oh, that's
Jason
a
goes to space. Hellraiser goes to space.
Yeah.
Oh, shitty sequels.
Leprechaun in space.
Leprechaun in space.
I like the aesthetic of this movie. Everything looks grimy and the spaceships are really cool. I love the practical effects. I love the sets.
Like, why did they get H.R. Geiger to design their
right?
flagship spaceship? Like, if I were a crew member on that ship, I'd be like, no.
I'm not getting on that demon possessed hell
Well,
ship.
it wasn't demon possessed
yeah,
yet.
it might as well be. I mean, it looks like
They're
it's
setting
got
it
like
up.
horns and shit on it. And stuff. It's like,
There's giant spikes in the middle of the room. Why are there giant spikes? What kind of a fucking torture chamber did you make this ship out of?
Scientifically, they connect the conduits to whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's spicy.
Yeah, it was all like magnetic field gobbledygook.
Bullshit.
It
Yeah.
was like a carnival fun house. Like as they're walking through this ship, you've got the tunnel that like you're walking over the bridge and the tunnel's like spinning around you.
The one guy's like, it looks like a cheese grater.
No, you said a meat grinder.
Meat grinder, yeah.
So,
meat grinder.
so like that meat grinder hallway, they actually built that.
oh my god!
And the issue is that because like of the spinning of that hallway, the camera crew would get disoriented and they'd like start fumbling around.
I'm sure.
And there's a scene where Laurence Fishburne towards the end of the movie has to run down that hallway, and he kept like getting like disoriented and like tripping and stuff, and so like they had to like divide up the shot of him running in multiple takes so like he wouldn't like wipe out because like it caused vertigo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I have to give, I know Keisha's going to argue with me on this, but I have to give Anderson a lot of credit on this movie because when I was watching that documentary, this was in between two movies that he did, and I think the one right after this was Soldier that we watched last week, right?
So this movie, he made it as his follow-up to Mortal Kombat, and he made this so that Kurt Russell could get in shape for Soldier.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the actors in this movie are also in Soldier as well.
So the filming of this movie, he only had 10 months to produce this entire movie from start to finish, like pre-production all the way to final edit in the theaters. And like they were talking about,
that's impressive.
In less than a year they made this movie, and the fact that it's not absolute garbage is amazing to me. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
10 months.
I'm just still trying to get over the aesthetic. I mean, it's literally
Aliens.
It's Aliens meets Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And it's a trip.
I don't mind
real
that.
trip.
So this is a Paramount film, right? And basically,
Oh shit! Does that mean we're gonna get copyright claimed?
Probably.
possibly, but so basically they had scheduled Titanic to come out, and because of the overruns on that movie, they had to push that movie back, and so they pushed this movie up to a like August release date for like their summer stuff. And so Stanky Anderson was under a lot of pressure to get this movie done quickly and get it out the door. And because of the schedule rearranging due to Titanic, they basically didn't market this movie correctly, which is part of the reason why it kind of stumbled at the box office. But another interesting aspect of this is that Anderson's original cut was 130 minutes long, and it was so gory that it got an NC-17. And so like, because of the pushed up schedule, he had to go back in and just like cut out a bunch of stuff, and he didn't really have time to like fine tune the final edit. And so that's one of the reasons why this movie is kind of like very choppy, is because like he literally just had to like pull out tons of stuff at the last minute.
From what I understand, once the Hell Gate opened in the gravity drive and things started getting real weird, that real quick clip of like the people eating themselves that we see when they finally like open the video up and they're like, oh shit, this other crew like demolished each other.
They were like fucking and eating each other to death.
And then the guy like ripped his eyes out and was like, look at me. You know, it was like that. Apparently there's like 20 minutes of that in the director's cut, where it's just like gore and disgusting, like human weird shit going on.
And so like when they had his original cut do like a test screening, it was disastrous because
people were fainting and shit like that in the theaters.
Barfing in the aisle.
Like the test audience, along with the studio executives who were watching the movie, they were all just like, "Oh my god, this is terrible."
The feel good movie of the summer.
And their post production time got cut from like 10 weeks to 6 weeks, and so like they had like no time to like really retool this thing. And I think Anderson has gone on record saying that his biggest regret is like he never had time to like actually like sit down and like fine tune this movie.
Those poor actors that had to film all those gross ass scenes.
I know, right? It's like get naked and eat each
Cover
other.
yourselves in all the muck and guts, and just
Well, it's it always kind of cracks me up in like a weird dark way. It's like the main bridge where they all kind of hang out and they're trying to like figure out what's going on with the ship, and they're like in the background there's just like human goo on the walls and like skulls and stuff, and you're like, nobody's gonna like scoop that up and get rid of it. No, we're just gonna leave it there for the entire. Okay.
Why would you?
Why would you leave it there?
I don't want to touch that shit.
I'm not doing maintenance. I'm a scientist.
The plan was for them to get the event horizon and take it back to Earth so they can like reuse it or whatever.
We'll hire a crew
And
and
they're
take
like,
it back to Earth.
they're just let's just leave the human goo in the corner.
Attach a tow cable to it and move on.
Yeah, is that what you would have done?
Hell yeah.
You would have been the guy like,
yeah.
guys, let's get the fuck off this ship.
Yeah. I don't even need to go on the ship. Just go to the ship, get your tow, bring it back to Earth.
Well, part of the story of this is basically the crew of the Lewis and Clark is a rescue operation. So like they went there looking for survivors, and then once they didn't find any survivors, then they would like fly the ship back. But there's a scene early on in this movie where we're introduced to Sam Neill and he's like shaving and stuff like that. And then he like opens the window and it's revealed that he's on like this big space platform above Earth. And then like the camera kind of like pulls back and like twirls around. It's very Stanky Anderson style.
Oh my God.
And basically that one shot cost them a third of their effects budget. It lasts 45 seconds. And it took them like months in order to like complete that one shot, because at the time, you got to remember this was like 97. CGI was like in its infancy, and they were playing with a bunch of toys.
Probably had a lot of models.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love the practical model effects, like, George Lucas style.
Yep.
It's so good.
And the interesting aspect of this movie is, so like when Sam Neill is explaining how you fold space in order to like travel through like a point, Christopher Nolan actually ripped that off for Interstellar. He used the exact same speech and the exact same like example that Sam Neill uses in this movie.
With a piece of
That's
paper.
the theory. That's the what's that guy? What's
Stephen
that guy?
Hawking?
Stephen Hawking guy.
Show some respect, sir.
Yeah, that was not.
Whatever.
Well, space travel is like a ball of yarn.
Yeah. You're ruining it, Jude. Freaking Quan Ha over here.
Yeah, don't reference Halo.
It literally looks like. So you texted us when we were watching this movie, and you were like, "Is Cooper doing like a Denzel Washington thing?"
Oh yeah.
And I totally got the same vibe. I was like, "Yeah, he kind of does sound like Denzel Washington."
Yeah.
You like something hot and black inside you? Ooh.
And then he kind of like throughout the movie, he kind of loses it a little bit, and he kind of becomes his own character. But like the opening scene,
the first 30 minutes, he's Denzel.
He's Denzel. It's great.
The only thing this movie needed that I would have inserted is I would have put Bill Paxton in it.
That's what it needed.
Yeah,
It needed Bill Paxton.
It needed
really
Bill
did.
Paxton.
Yeah.
Game over, man. Like just somebody to freak out in the background. Like, yes.
Put him in
100%.
one of like the minor crew members. Just
kill him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
As soon as they open the portal, he could have been the kid. The kid who first gets sucked into the portal. He's like, they call him baby bear or something like that. They call him.
yeah.
Joe Noseworthy?
No, Jack Noseworthy.
Jack
The
Noseworthy.
dude from Barbed Wire, right?
Well, yeah. So he was the brother in Barbed Wire. But,
That's what I know him from.
But he was also, at the time, he was like a big kind of like MTV kind of like star.
Okay.
Yeah, he just kind of like faded out, right?
Yeah. So like he had a show on MTV around this time, and he was kind of like a rising star. And after this movie, like he did this movie, he did Barbed Wire, and then after that, he just kind of like disappeared. And like I've never seen him in anything else. So like it's kind of weird. But like he had a big following, because I think his MTV show was something like Dead Like Me or Dead Before 21 or something like that.
I don't know.
It was a weird show, but it was kind of popular at the time.
One of my favorite scenes in this movie is him in the airlock. And they're like, "We're going to rescue him. We're going to get him." And he's like, "Help me." He's like crying for help because he knows he's going to get sucked out into space. And Laurence Fishburne is in a spacesuit. He's outside doing a spacewalk, repairing stuff up. And he's like, "Curl up in a ball, close your eyes, and push all your oxygen out of your lungs." And I'm like, yeah, that checks out. I'm pretty sure I've heard enough.
I've heard that before.
I've heard enough documentaries where they're like, you don't instantly die.
You're not going to last long.
But your liquids are going to start boiling, and the air inside your lungs is going to expand. So like breathe out as fast as you can and get all the air out of your lungs. I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. And that scene where he's like floating around, like the freaking liquids are coming out.
Yeah.
And Fishburne like grabs him. That scene's freaking awesome. I love it.
The best scene in this movie is when they finally like decipher the footage of like what happens after like they initially engage the gravity drive, and like all those people are like ripping their eyes out.
The
doing
sex
all the
cannibal
weird-
party.
And Laurence Fishburne, it ends, and Laurence Fishburne is just like,
We're leaving.
okay, we're out of here.
Yeah, we're leaving.
We're leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need more of that in horror movies.
like that was just like the most common sense thing anyone's ever done in a horror movie. It was like, we're out of here.
The Fishburne is the only one who survived, right?
No, he died.
I think
Fishburne?
they all died again, dude.
Do they all die?
The blonde girl survives.
The blonde girl survived. The black guy survived, and
Oh, that's right.
Jack Noseworthy
Cooper survives?
survived. Yeah.
That's right. They go into stasis.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
Then they wake up on a prison 60 years later.
No, that's Aliens. Don't talk about Aliens 3, man.
What'd you do to my ship?
Aliens 3 sucks.
Hicks is
that
dead.
movie is a pile of trash.
Newt's dead. So what the fuck?
All the cool characters from the last movie
Bill
just
Paxton's
died
dead.
off screen.
Can we talk about the ending of this movie, which I thought was like
Absolutely.
pretty terrible?
Was that all the Hellraiser shit? I don't know if I remember.
Well,
that.
no. So the ending is basically there's a new rescue team that comes, opens up the door. They take what's her name? The
Kathleen
blonde lady.
Quinlan?
That's right.
Oh, no.
What do I know her from? The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm
no,
like,
Nip Tuck. She was the wife of Nip Tuck.
I'll never watch that show.
She should have been played by the chick from Jurassic Park.
Laura Dern? Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. So basically, her name's Stark, and so the rescue crew opens up her stasis pod and brings her out. And then, one guy is like, it's okay, it's going to be okay. And he lifts up his helmet, and it's Sam Neill. And she wakes up and she starts freaking out. And the other guys, Cooper and the rest of the rescue team are there. And it was like she's having a vision. And it's kind of implying that, like, okay, the part of the possessed ship is still, like,
Following
fucking
her
with people.
around, yeah.
And you get the sense that this whole new crew is rescue crew is going to get fucked with, and it could even like translate to Earth.
When
or
you
something
open
like
up
that.
a portal to hell, and,
Bad things
They're
happen.
like,
and Pinhead comes out and possesses you.
They're like, we're so glad we found you. We just got to go rescue the Event Horizon real quick, and then we'll all head back to Earth.
And she's the crazy one. Like, why is she freaking out about the
Yeah.
stupid ship?
I wish he should have turned them all into Cenobites. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know what's funny about this movie? So like, it wasn't a box office success, but it's found an audience on home video. It's become kind of like a cult movie. A lot of people talk about this movie with, like Alex does, where he's like, "Oh, this movie's awesome." I don't understand that, but it's gotten to the point where there's actually talks to make it into like an original series on a streaming service that's a sequel to the movie.
Huh.
That would be interesting.
It depends.
It would just be,
I don't-
a space hellport.
I don't want to see it if Netflix produces it.
I
No,
don't
no,
need
no. The dudes that made Invasion. I would watch the hell out of that.
Well, if they got like Mike Flanagan, the guy who did the Haunting of Hill House and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Black Mass.
Dude, that whole cast that
What,
does
so they can bore us to death with
What?
fancy camera angles.
Those
Get outta
movies
here.
are crazy. Or I guess they're shows, but Black Mass, Haunting of Blair
Do you
Manor.
guys remember what we do here? We make fun of bad shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, are you making
And
fun of
we-
this movie?
we
Is this
want-
a bad
we-
movie?
It's not a good movie. We need.
I concur.
What?
I concur as well.
Am I the only one who likes this
You are
movie?
the only one.
What the hell, man?
It's Hellraiser meets aliens.
Okay.
And you don't like
Why
Hellraiser.
is that a bad thing?
Because
I've never
it didn't-
seen
it
Hellraiser.
didn't really do either one of those things well.
I disagree. The only thing I can
Okay.
say is like Sam Neill.
That's the guy who's never watched a Hellraiser movie.
It's a fact.
Well, fuck you.
Solid reason. I love your argument.
I have no response to that argument.
Winner.
Ding ding.
Kings to you. The only thing I could say is like Sam Neill, like as much as I love the dude, like he doesn't really pull off like horror all that well. Like that scene where he opens up the portal and like whatever happens and
Yeah.
he goes ah, and he just like does that real flat scream.
I
was like, what is he doing right now?
I think Sam Neill really isn't that great of an actor. He just does the same thing in every one of his roles.
There's a lot of actors that do that.
Yeah,
he
but
just has to find the right
You
role.
just you have a dinosaur fetish, and he's.
Well, I
Mr.
also like
Dinosaur.
him in Red October. He's freaking good as he's really good
He
in that.
played Sam Neill.
Yeah.
He played Russian.
He
Sam.
played Russian Sam Neill. I'd like to go to Montana.
And who can forget his tour de force performance in Apple TV's Invasion?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
the
12
one
minutes,
episode that he did.
That was such bullshit.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking Invasion. We gotta watch
I'm
season
never
2.
gonna recover.
Thanks, guys.
When is season 2 coming out of that freaking garbage show?
I know we need to get some views on our channel.
I know. We did really well with that
they
show
love that
because we
too.
just hated it so much. I want to make a shirt. I haven't done it yet, but I want to make a shirt with just a swimming astronaut.
I was going to ask you, when are you doing that?
in my spare
Dog
time.
battle through space.
Dog battle through space.
Well, I mean, they basically did that in this movie with Cooper. Remember where he's like, "I'm coming for you, motherfucker."
Well, no, but
Just, like uses his like air.
Yeah,
to,
he
fly through
purged.
space.
He purged his tank. He's like floating away in
Yeah.
space, and he's like, all right, hold on. I got to purge my tank. And he goes, and he flies, and he's like, I'm coming for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah. And then he shows up.
Hold on.
And he's like,
Oh, shit.
and then like they break the
window.
the window,
the cross.
in the cockpit.
Yeah, the very subtle.
And he's right there, and the explosion
Doesn't blow him away?
Well, it does blow him away, but somehow he like makes it back on.
and the explosion doesn't kill anybody else in there.
And also like. So one of the funny things is like number one, it takes a really long time to depressurize that cabin. But second of all, Sam Neill keeps dying and the ship keeps bringing him back.
Yeah. The ship won't let me die.
You know what would have been funny?
What's that?
Is if he had like shot himself through space and come back to the ship, and right that scene when he was supposed to save the day, if he had like missed and just kept on floating.
Just fell into the planet. Oh, shit.
I missed. Like just Mel Brooks shit. Like, oh shit.
There's a horror scene going on. You got Fishburne and Sam Neill like doing their back and forth, and in the window you just see Cooper go.
Turn it into a comedy, and I'm on board.
A horror comedy.
Yeah.
Trying to change his direction with his aerosol can.
And he's dog paddling.
Are we rewriting this?
We are.
No, he's got your little throat spray
Yeah.
bottle. He's like,
Powered by Chloroseptic.
yeah,
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
yeah, he's using that
Don't
to like
take
change
more,
direction.
dude.
I'm gonna be hitting that all day, dude. It's gonna be like half a bottle when we're done.
We got numb tongue.
Yeah.
You want something strong and black inside you?
No,
that was
I do not.
That was a great line. All right, let's do final thoughts. Give it a rating. For me, this is a 3-star movie. It's not perfect. You guys bring up some legitimate concerns. I'm not going to argue that, but I do have a weird fascination with this movie, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to give it 3 stars. Vader, how about you?
I agree.
Shit.
I don't agree with your score, but I agree with your assessment. It's an interesting movie. The weird thing about this week, and I was shocked myself, all 3 of these movies are first watches for me for some reason.
Me too.
And I don't know why.
They're right up your alley.
They're right up my alley.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never seen. I think I might have seen one of them before, but I don't remember which one or when it was. But this movie's weird. It's aliens with Hellraiser, and and I don't feel like they quite got it right. And but again, like Sunshine, if you got 2 hours to kill and you want to just watch a weird sci-fi space movie in a ship with, not Cenobites and not aliens. Watch this movie. Give it a watch because it's got a good cast. It's fun.
Jason Isaacs all splayed
yeah.
open on the freaking
love
thing.
I mean, Laurence Fishburne was good. He was. I mean, all the actors in this, they just do what they do. Laurence Fishburne was Laurence Fishburne, right? Sam Neill was Sam Neill.
Jason Isaacs was Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, it's really kind of funny how
Did you guys?
I don't feel like any of these guys really stretched their acting abilities in this, but it was still a fun, kind of interesting movie. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick it down the middle. Just watch it, then don't worry about it anymore.
Real
That's
quick,
kind of where I'm
before we go to Jude, Stark, the blonde chick. Did you guys notice she was the only one who didn't seem to be affected throughout the whole movie by like the weird hell shit? She's always the one who's like the most composed.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot she was even in this movie.
Yeah, well, because she doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Until she doesn't like have an effect, or she doesn't react to what's going on in the ship until the very end when she has that flash and she sees Sam Neill with the freaking helmet on.
Yeah, I felt like her entire character could have just completely been taken out, and her only thing to do in this movie was just to survive.
Yeah, it was weird. Like they forgot to write her a character.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're an astronaut and your spaceship looks like it's a portal to hell, it probably is.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't get on it.
at least her role wasn't filled by Mila Jovovich.
Oh, that would have made it better.
Well, she would have drop kicked an alien
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that, and did like a spinning drop kick.
Strong female character.
Don't you feel like this could like be inserted into the Alien Predator universe somewhere?
Probably.
I kind of feel like it could.
I think my favorite moment watching this movie is when the doctor is trying to get like the oxygen scrubbers to get off the ship.
Yeah.
And she sees like visions of like her kid running around, and Jude's just like yelling at the screen like full like movie
Don't
theater.
follow it.
Yeah, get out of there, bitch! What are you doing?
And she's got her backpack full of oxygen scrubbers, and she's running, and then she stops. And she turns around and sees her kid, and then she just walks towards
Immediately
it.
was like, no, bitch.
No, yeah.
No, bitch.
That's a freaking demon. Hello.
I did like the scene where they first came up to the dead ship and everything's in anti-gravity. Everything's just floating around, including all the blood and guts and oil and shit. And then when they kicked it in, it all just went splash. That was a really cool effect. And you're just like, ugh, just turn it back on. God damn. It was nasty.
Well, shouldn't that have all been frozen? I don't know. Anyway, Jude, final thoughts, give it a rating.
Okay, so this movie felt crazy long. Like, we started it one night, and then we both started kind of falling asleep on the couch. So we were like, we'll finish it tomorrow. There's only like 45 minutes left. And I felt like I had been watching the last 45 minutes of it for about 3 hours. And I will say I absolutely hated this movie. Wow. However, let me finish. Of the 3 movies we watched this week, I feel like this is the only one I could ever watch again, but it would have to be in the right circumstances. Like, it would have to be like we're making fun of it while we're watching it.
This is a bad movie with Tom kind of movie for you?
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of movie I would watch with Tom.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So I'm right there with you, V. I'm 2.5 hallucinations and orgy cannibal parties out of 5.
Okay. Kadish, final thoughts, give it a rating.
So, you know me, I can never give a Paul Stanky Anderson movie anything more than a 2.
Granted.
And, as far as Paul Stanky Anderson movies go, this movie, Soldier, and Mortal Kombat are probably like his most enjoyable ones. So, like, I remember seeing this in the theater, just walking out very disappointed. Like, at the time, I was like, oh, this guy, he's a young British filmmaker. He's up and coming. He's got like a cool style to him. I was excited to see it, and I was very much let down. And as time has gone on, I get more and more let down with each successive Paul W.S. Anderson movie. I've seen this movie so many times because, like, for whatever reason, I've had to like rewatch it over the course of the decades since it came out, and I think my favorite experience with it is watching Red Letter Media's review of it, where they kind of like talk about it, because it is a movie that's fun to talk about, but it's not very fun for me to watch, particularly because it's just so gory. I don't like gore. Like, that's just a personal thing. I like the idea of like a haunted house spaceship type thing, haunted spaceship. And I feel like that premise could have been done far better than what we got in this movie. So yeah, it's 2 ripped eyeballs out of 5 for me. Like, that's the max I can give it for a Stanky Anderson film.
Okay. All right.
We're really got a high bar today.
Well, everything's a 2-star movie this week. Who knew? All right. That's it for Event Horizon. Comment below what you think of this movie. Is it a classic? Are you one of the people like me who's just addicted to Sam Neill? I don't know what's going on. The next movie on our list is...
Y'all got any of that Sam Neill?
Y'all got any more of that Sam Neill?
I don't understand your fascination.
Hunt for the Wilder People, Jurassic Park, Hunt for Red October. Come on, bro.
The more movies you make me watch of his, the more I'm unimpressed.
He's in the first season of Peaky Blinders. He's like bad guy.
I've never watched that one.
I thought you watched Peaky
Blinders. No, I
Blinders.
did not watch Peaky Blinders.
Shit, bro.
I know I need to.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
You have to give me a break sometime so I can have some time to do it.
Oh my God. Carne River.